In this lesson, we're continuing with our ultimate guide in mathematics for grade 9, and we've been looking at algebraic expressions, and we have already done the first part here. We are now looking at factorization of algebraic expressions, a very important concept which I want you to know. So if you have not covered our previous lessons where we were expanding, just to show you quickly, we were looking at the expansions, something like this. This is what we covered in the previous lessons, and we're expanding such. So if this is your first time and you have not looked at the lessons that I did previously, I will encourage you definitely need to get hold of that. So now let's come back to this lesson where we are now looking at a new concept. In this case, it is factorization. Now when you're factorizing, what you're simply doing is the opposite of expansion. So that is what they mean by factorization, and you definitely need to familiarize yourself with that. We did already the first lesson on factorization. Again, just to show you what we did on factorization, let me check the lesson that we did. There it is. You see, this was factorization. It says factorize the following, and we looked at quite a few things here where we dealt with factorization, and it was the introductory part. So now we are looking at factorization by grouping. You see this one, and then how do you go about this? Let's quickly go to the first question. It says factorize by grouping, and you are given ax plus ay plus bx plus by. Now I want you to pay close attention because this is the foundation that I'm gonna lay, and once you do this one, everything is not gonna be difficult. So if you can do this, then it's easier. So when you're factorizing, remember you're looking at what is common. Now if we have got the terms, let's count how many terms we have. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, and we've got 4 terms. You see, they are all separated by signs. You see, there is a plus, there is a plus, there is a plus. So we have got 4 terms because of the 3 different signs that they are separating, right? So now because you have these 4 terms, whenever you have got 4 terms, you factorize by grouping. All right, so how do you group? You group 2 by 2. Not really to say by, but I'm trying to say you take the first 2, for example, here, and then you take the last 2. That is what we mean by grouping. So this becomes your first group, group 1, and this becomes your group 2. Are you seeing that? When does it occur? It occurs when you have got how many items? 4 items, or it can be 6. It can be 4, it can be 6, it can be, I think that's the most number that you get, 4 or 6. But for your lesson in syllabus, you're only going to deal with 4. So now when you have done this, how do you go about this? So let's look at it again. It says ax plus ay plus bx plus by. Now you ask yourself, what is common in the first 2? And you can see I can take out a and a. You see that a is common. So now I can, that's what we mean by factorizing. Remember, you take out a. Now when you're taking out, remember, it's as good as you're dividing. So when I'm taking out this a here, what it means is this will cancel because this a is outside now. This is the a outside now. So what do you have? You'll have x plus y. You see that? That's what you'll be having. So that's what actually you're doing. So if I write it properly, so you're saying here what I will have is inside the bracket I will have x plus y. Are you seeing that? Then always take out a positive sign. I repeat again, always follow with a positive sign. Plus, what's common in the next? You can see my b is common. It's appearing on the last 2. Remember we said you look at the first 2 like we did here, and you look at the last 2 like we did here. So the last 2, b is common, so we take out what? B. And then again you open a bracket, and then when you're taking out a b, what we're simply saying is this b that you took out, you're cancelling it out. You're left with x plus y. Are you seeing that? So I'm gonna write here also x plus y. Now when you have done this, this is equal to, when you've done this, what you notice is, look, you have got that bracket, we have got that bracket, and we have done this previously. If you have got that bracket, that's what you write first as x plus y. And then outside the bracket, what do you have? You have the ones in yellow, a plus b. Don't forget that sign is a plus b. So you write it as a plus b. Then this is what we mean that you have factorized by grouping. Are you with me? It's not really complicated, but that's how you go about it. Obviously, remember I told you that the opposite of factorization is what? Is expansion. So if I say to you expand, and then I give you this one and say x plus y, and then I say to you a plus b, this answer that you got. So remember, when you're expanding, what do you say? It's x times a, x times b, y times a, y times b. Remember the FOIL method? So what is it gonna be? X times a, alphabetical order is ax, that is your 1. Your 2 is x times b, which is bx. Your 3 is y times a, which is ay. And then your 4 is plus y times b, which is by. So now if you look at these, it looks similar. Look at this. It's only the rearrangement. We can rearrange and say, where is ax? There is our ax here. It starts with ax. Where is ay? There is our ay. So we can say plus ay. Then after that is plus bx and plus by. See, doesn't matter, but the answer will still remain the same. So when you're expanding, remember, you can, I repeat, when you're expanding, you can, when you're factorizing, when you want to check your answer, you can what? You can expand again. So I'm just gonna keep this one so that you can have a kind of a reminder. Let's look at this one though. Ax plus bx plus 2a plus 2b. We want to factorize this guy here. So it's what? It's ax plus bx and plus 2a plus 2b. So if you want to factorize this, again, always remember, whenever you're given a concept of factorization, ask yourself, if it's 4 items or 4 terms, it means you are going to group. And we talked about grouping. You take this as your what? As your 1, and then you take the other one as your what? As your 2. See, group 1 is the first group, and then you ask yourself, what's common in the first? You can see x is common. So when you take out x, what is remaining inside? Remember I told you, when you are taking it out, you are cancelling it off like that. So you see a plus b will remain. So that's what you write. So you have got a plus b. Now you must get a similar bracket here. You must get a plus b bracket. But now you need to ask yourself, what must I take out to get a plus b? Of course, 2 is common. So you always take a positive sign. But this case is plus 2. So if we cancel out these 2, do you see a plus b there? So you've got also your a plus b. So when the brackets are matching, you are in the right direction. They must always be the same. This must be equal to that. Then you write it as your a plus b. Don't write it twice. You write it once. And then what is outside the bracket? There it is x plus 2. Don't just say x2. It's x plus 2. Are you with me? And don't forget, in here is bracket and another bracket. So you open and close a bracket here. So there mustn't be any sign here. It's a multiplication sign. And then with that, then you get your marks. Are you with me? Look at the next one. I think we can remove this one here. Good to go here. Let me take off this. So now, what's the next one here? I just want to maintain this so that you can have an idea. The next one says 4xy. Let me do that one. It's 4xy plus 8y plus 3xz plus 6z. Alright, so what are we going to do here? We're going to factorize, and again, don't forget the concept is factorizing by what? By grouping. So let's do this one. So what we have here, again, always ask yourself, what is common in the first 2? You look at the first 2 here. Let me use a different one. Look at this one. We have got that, and you have got that. All right, now I just want to show you another concept here, just to see how this thing. Remember, they gave me ax plus by plus bx plus by. I think I made an error here. It's ay here. Now look at this. It's not every time that you are forced to take the first two and the last two. So what you can do, you can rearrange this thing whereby you can say ax, and then maybe you bring this one closer, it will be plus bx. You see what's happening? And then plus ay plus by. Look, I have what we call, usually they put the sign to say I did this, meaning I rearranged those two. That arrow facing both directions means you are rearranging. So now look here, x being common, you are taking out x, not previously where you took out a. So x, you've got a plus b, again it's a plus y, now being common, it's a plus b. And the answer will always be the same, a plus b and x plus y. So it doesn't matter, another person can choose to rearrange this whole thing, they will still get the what? They will still get the same answer. Alright, so I'm just going to show you here also. Let's say I attempt it in two different ways. Let's choose the first one. Let's say method number 1. We're going to use it as is, where this is group 1, this is group 2. What is common here? It's easier for you to focus on the letters and then you start looking at y and y. That's correct, but the first thing you must always remember, don't start with the letters, start with the numbers. So whenever they give you different numbers, you must also raise your eyebrows and say, oh, I need to be careful here. Look at it. We can actually look at what is common in the numbers 4 and 8, which is the highest number that can go into 4 and go into 8. The highest. Don't say 2, because 2 years can go into 4 and can go into 8, but that's not the highest number. It is 4. Why? Because 4 can go into 4 and 4 can go into 8. If you still remember, we used the I say to your calculator, you take a calculator, you find 4, and 4 is 2 squared, and 8, remember the previous method, is 2 cubed, and now the highest common factor will be the smallest power, which is 2 squared, and 2 squared is what? Is 4. So 2 is common, but which power is that? So you can use the previous lesson, but here it's simpler. Which number, the biggest number that can go into 4 and 8? You are saying it's 4. Then you can focus on the letters. It's 4y. Are you seeing that? Now I told you what you are doing. Whenever you are taking it out, automatically it means you are cancelling. So here I've cancelled the 4, I've cancelled the y. The x remains, and then the sign remains as plus. And then on 8, I'm cancelling the 4 on 8. How many? What will remain? It's 2. In other words, you're saying 8 divided by 4. It is going to be what? 2. And then you cancel the y. So the only thing that will remain there is that 2. So it will be x plus 2. Do you see why I got the 2? He said 8. It's 8 divided by 4. You cancel that, you get a what? You get a 2. So that's what you're actually doing. Now let's redo this properly. So we are saying 4y. Then we said what will remain there is x plus what will remain there is 2. Are you with me? That's what will remain in the first one. And then we're saying plus, we continue. Remember, this was a z. This is z. You ask yourself, what's common? 3xz plus 6z. 3. Look at 3 there. You can see that there is a 3 and a 6. Which is the highest number that can go into 3 and 6? It's much easier. This one, you know that 3 can go into 3 and 3 can go into 6. Then the letters is z. So you take out z, open a bracket, the 3 cancels and the z cancels. You see the x. You must get a similar thing on this bracket. It must be identical. Then the 3 goes 6 over 3 is what? It's 2, remember. And then the z will cancel. So you see that you are also left with plus 2 there. So what will I have? I'm going to have inside the bracket, I'm going to have x plus 2. Look at the brackets. Always the same. They must be the same. What about outside the brackets? These are outside the brackets. You see, so when you're writing your answer, you're going to say it's what? It's x plus 2, the first bracket, or whatever is common there, and then outside the bracket is 4y plus 3z. You have done it, that's fine. Or method B. Method B is what? What if I chose to rearrange? I'll use this sign. What if I chose to rearrange this thing? And when I'm rearranging, I'm going to say, you look at what is common. You're like, okay, I'll take 4xy, and then I bring something common. In this case, I want to bring the 3xz plus 3xz, right? Plus 8y, because that's the next, plus 6z. You need to arrange and move them with their signs, so don't make an error there. You ask yourself, what's common in the first? 4 and 3, nothing is common. X, Y, X, Z. You see, there is my X. So I'm going to take out my X here. Now when I cancel out the X, you see that here I've got 4Y. When I cancel out the X there, I've got 3Z. You see the first bracket. Plus, I must get a similar bracket as this one. Now, 8 and 6, what's common? It's 2. 2 is the highest number that can go into 8 and 6. Now, only 2 is common. And then 2 goes into 8, how many times? 4. And 2 goes into 6, how many times? 3. Are you seeing what I'm doing there? I'm dividing there. 8 divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2. So you get your 4y plus 3z. Look at it. It must always be the same bracket. Then you get your 4y plus 3z. And what is outside the bracket? It's x plus 2. Look at the difference now. The only difference is the rearrangement. This one started with that, but it's there, and that is there. Doesn't matter on the arrangement, the answer is the same. So when someone does it, you get an answer here. Even when someone does it, they still mark them correct. I hope this makes sense to you. And yeah, the thing is, don't get confused. Look at the next one now. We are introducing a negative. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. We are now looking at which one now? We are looking at this part. Says what? Okay, we have done that one. We are looking at this one now. It says ax, see that? Minus 3ay minus bx and plus 3by. Alright, so this is what we have, and we just want to solve this thing here. Let's bring this guy, our main guy. I don't want to let go of my main guy here. Look at this one. The concept must be the same. You look at what? You look at the first two here, our first two, and if there is something common, just do that. Group them like that so that these represent the first and the second group. What is common here? We're going to use A as being common. So I'm going to take out A. Now pay attention because we're dealing with a negative now. I'm going to say here NB. Alright, I'm going to say NB. Why? Because it's a negative. Now look, when I'm taking out A, I've got X remaining. But look, there is a negative sign here. You see that? There is a negative. So I must maintain my negative sign. So don't worry, you ask yourself to say, but on the numbers, it was 3 alone there and 1. So that's why I ignored the numbers. So it's minus 3. Remember what I'm doing? Minus 3. I told you I'm cancelling out the A. So you see what you see? Minus 3y. You see that? So you write what you're seeing there. Minus 3y. Now take out a positive. Please take out a positive sign. Always a positive sign. Always. You see? Always a positive sign. Now I'll explain why. Then after that, open another bracket. You are okay. Before you open a bracket, let's identify what's common first. Sorry, it's B being common, so you say B. So it's plus what? It's plus B. You open a bracket. Now look, when I'm cancelling a B here, do you see that it's not only X that is remaining, but it's what? It's minus X. So let's write it let's write it proper there. So that's where students now miss it. When you take out a B, don't say X. You must say minus X. That will make you or break you. If you say X, you are out of the game. So it's minus X, and then when you cancel out the B here, you see it's 3y. So it's minus X, but look at the sign, plus 3y. you close the bracket. So now, almost there, but not there. What you need to do? You need to now compare. Look, I've got x minus 3y minus x. Look at the sign. Positive x, negative x. Negative 3y, positive 3y. You remember this part whereby we said what you do here? You take out, watch the previous lesson, I did mention this clearly. Take out the negative. Remember, when you're taking out the negative, what you're simply doing is you are interchanging signs. So let's do that. You'll have x minus 3y here. Alright, now look, I'm going to interchange the sign. From positive, it will become negative. Negative what? Negative b. So the signs are changing now. X now will become positive x minus 3y. Look at the signs. So I can maintain this just to this, and then I maintain that. What I'm interested in is the signs. Look, negative b, positive x, negative 3y. But look, does it match? Yes. So now I have my a, x minus 3y minus b, x minus 3y. See, I've got it now. And then I can now write my final answer as what? The brackets are matching. I've got x minus 3y. And then the other one is what? It's a minus b. Alright, then this is the answer. And then you're good to go. You get your 2 marks. Alright, so that is that. I don't know whether you saw what I did, but there is more that I'm doing. So let's do more practice. But don't forget, you need the concept of taking out the what? The negative. Let's look at this guy here. Now, while I'm going to look at this guy, I want you to say, try these. Can you try this for me? This is 1, 2, 3. Just try to factorize this and see what you're getting. All right. So we're going to do this together, and then I want you to try the next ones. So this is what? This is ax minus bx minus a plus b. All right. So let's do that. Bring our guy close, and then we do the same thing we did. Okay. Is there anything common in the first two? Yes, there it is. The first two is x, and the last two. Now, why did I bring this on? I want you to pay attention now, because it looks simpler, but it can confuse quite a number of students. Look at this. In the first one, do you see what's common? X is common, right? You agree with me? So I'm gonna take out x. Yeah, right? What is gonna be inside now? Cancel x. You got a minus. Don't forget the sign. Cancel x. It's b. Straightforward. Now I say take out a what? A positive. Always, always. So plus, and then what's common now? That's where students miss it. They will say nothing. Then when they say nothing, they do this, and then they've got, okay, since nothing is common, you must open a bracket. If you did this, minus a plus b, congratulations, you did it right. It's still that as is, minus a plus b. All right, but the question is, what number is it that when I factorize or when I take it out, it doesn't change anything? That number is 1. So the trick there is 1. If you don't write 1 there, you're going to struggle to say, what are you going to have? I'll show you now in the next part. But let's continue. You look at the signs. Look, a is positive, a is negative. B is negative, b is positive. You interchange. So you've got your a, your x, a minus b. Now don't forget the interchanging. Now it's minus 1, and then what do we have? Okay, minus, let me maintain the signs, 1 bracket. What do we have now? We have got a being positive, so I can ignore a, but now b, I need to indicate is now minus b. See that? And then we close. So you see what the sign that did? It interchanged. Now look, a minus b, a minus b. So you have got now, that's where I wanted you to be careful now. The first bracket will be easier, a minus b. But if you did not have this 1 here, you see that you're going to open a bracket and say x what? X minus what? You see, you're going to get stuck here. But don't forget, it's a hidden 1. So it's x minus 1. Is it making sense? I hope it's making sense. There is your good marks there. It's 2 marks. All right. So now I asked you to do me these ones. I asked you to do me the last 3. Can you try them for me? and see if ever you can get your answers. Also not complicated. Can you do that? You do that and you do that, and then tell me your solutions, and then from there pause the video and then compare your solutions with mine. Alright, so let me quickly show you what you could have done. Ax minus 4x minus a plus 4. So if you did it, x was common, you said x is common here. What was remaining? It's a minus 4, that is correct, and then plus, see, there is already a minus a plus 4, so here minus a plus 4. It's important because it's already there, but I take out a what? A 1. Take out a 1. Then you interchange. You can see the interchanging. You've got x. Here, remember we said it's what? It's a minus 4 plus 1 becomes minus 1. Negative a becomes a. Positive 4 becomes minus 4. It's called interchanging. Then it's a minus 4. And what's the other answer? It's x minus 1. Do you see that? Now, you might ask, but say I prefer doing it the other way around. It's still fine. You can interchange this and work it other way around. I told you it's not every time that you can work it as is. You can write ax, maybe you say minus a, and then after minus a is minus 4x plus 4. You take your first two, what's common? It's a there, it will be x, but a goes into a is minus 1. You see that? You close the bracket and then you take out a positive. 4 is common there. Now remember, when I cancel 4 is minus x. You see that? So it's negative x plus 4 into 4 is a 1, not plus 4, it's 1. Then you do the same thing here. A x minus 1, take out a negative, it's minus 4, and then it's x minus 1. See that? And then from here you have got x minus 1, and then what do you have? We have got a minus 4. There it is. It's the same. It's the same. Does it make sense? Definitely yes, it does make sense. All right, so let's look at the next one. I think this one is done. Let's try another one. I asked you to do these 3. This one now, pay attention to this one. Look at this. I've got here x squared minus x, pay attention here, this is common now, minus 4x plus 4. It's very important for the next lesson. I want you to pay attention. Let me bring it back here. It's very important for the what? For the next lesson, because we'll be factorizing something similar to this. It's still the same. You look at your first 2 here, and then you look at your what? Last 2. Still the same. But ask yourself, what's common in the first 2? You can see that x is common because it's x squared and x. Take the small power, which is power 1, that's x. Put a bracket. You are saying x into x squared. Remember, x squared is x times x. Then you're dividing by this particular x here. Are you seeing that? So when you do that, cancel, only one x will remain. So here you have got x minus, now into the second one, it's more like you're saying x over x. This cancels to get a 1. So x minus 1. Always take out a positive. 4 is common there. Now you're saying minus 4x. Remember, you took out a 4. You see, when I'm cancelling the 4, do you see negative x? There is negative x. Plus, I'm doing it individually here. 4 over 4. You cancel there, you get a 1. Do you see that? That's what actually you're doing. Then equal to, you see the interchanging. What do you have? You've got x minus 1. Now positive 4, it's negative 4. And then you've got what? Positive x minus 1. You interchange the signs. Then from here, you've got what? X minus 1. Why? Because it matches. And then you've got what? X minus 4. This is one of the most important ones. Very, 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 very important. Alright. So I'm going to remove this. Bring another one. Now can you try this one on your own? X squared minus 3x minus 3y plus xy. Can I write that one down? It's x squared minus 3x. Can you try it also first? Minus 3y plus xy. Can you please try it on your own and see what you're getting here? Alright, so look at this. If I bring it here, it's still the same. Similar, I take out the x here. What do they have? Like I did here, he said 1x will remain, so it's x minus, but here you see when you cancel, 3 will remain. You see that? It's x minus 3 plus, I'll say always take out a plus what? What's common here? Y is common. But is it 3 remaining? Is it that one? Do you see the error? Yes, it's minus 3. Alright. Plus what? Plus x. Alright. Equal to, and then when you do that, what do you have? Sorry about that. It's going to be x, and then I continue, x minus 3. What must I do to positive y? It's negative y. Positive 3, negative 3 become positive 3. Positive x become negative x. Oh, something is wrong here. Look what I did. I've got x minus 3. I've got 3 minus x. Actually, sorry about that. You can see that this is that. Look, equal to x. I hope you picked that already. X minus 3. I didn't pick up that. And then I say take out a positive y. Now start with x. X is positive. The sign belongs to x. So it's x. Let me do that so that I don't confuse you. That's x. It's x. 3 is negative. It's minus 3. Do you see that already? This was done. So I didn't need to change the signs. X minus 3 and x plus y. That's it. As my son always says, ta-da! That's what you have done. You have made it. You have gotten it right. You guys, I always say, try this. Do more activities. Now what do? Look at your textbook, look at something similar and attempt them. If you're struggling, come back to the concepts and it's always the same. If you got something different, give me a shout. I say to some of my students, you can check me. You can send out actually a picture. Take a picture of the question if it is totally different and you're struggling with it, and send it to my Insta handle. It's confingwazi. Search me on Instagram. Alright. You can find this and then take a pic and send to me. I'll have a look at it. So guys, we've come to the end of our lesson. Join me in the next lesson. Look at what we're going to look at. This is factorization, but the important part is the difference of two squares. Look at the activities I brought for you. I brought as much as different concepts here. If you already done it at school, attempt it. Pause the video, go through this one and see whether you can get it. And then after that, go through the video. You will not regret. This definitely you will meet something similar in your final exam. I bet you there will be something similar to one of these in your exam. So don't miss this next lesson. That's why you must subscribe and ensure that the notification bell is turned on. This will make sure that you're notified every time I'm posting a new video. You can also share this with your friends, okay? Thank you.